Okay, so we got Paus with us. He is the 10th best Warden on Xbox, and he's going to show y'all everything about the Warden.
Okay, basically, if you know everything that the Warden can do, you know his entire moveset. And some of you may not know everything that the Warden can do. I'm gonna show you some of the guarantees that he can get off of parries, off of no stamina parries, and what he can do with his Vortex and his bashing and whatnot, and everything else that he can do. So basically, for the noobs that don't know how to play Warden, he's pretty simple. He's um he's got a bash just like half the mother characters in this game. Just to initiate his bashes, all you gotta do is dodge, press X, or you can initiate his bash after lighting and bashing with side lights or top lights in the bashes. It's pretty simple. And he also has a level 3 charge, which if you hold it, he does it even for longer, which can give you a guaranteed top heavy if you hit the level 3 charge, which is very simple to do, but some people it's a little difficult because they don't get the timing right, but it's pretty damn simple once you get it down. So as soon as you hit them with the level 3 bash, that's when you do the top heavy. As so.
So as soon as it lands is when you
As,
throw it.
as soon as it hits you, that's when you throw it. It's guaranteed every time if they time it right, which is pretty much once you get it down, you'll get it every time. So that's no problem. Another thing I want to show you is uh, when you're out of stamina and you get a parry, I'll show you what the Warden could do. Now, there you go. I throw a top heavy. Now you can get a side heavy and the top heavy, which is guaranteed damage, which is his max punish when they throw a attack with no stamina. That is the max punish that I know of that you can get with the Warden. Another one that you can do if you'll run yourself out of stamina real quick again is a top light into top heavy, or a side light into side heavy, or a side light into top heavy. It's all got to be, it can't be top heavy, because as soon as you hit them with the top heavy while they're down, the recovery time increases and they get up faster, so you can't do that, which would be cool as shit if you could, but you can't. um Another thing with Wardens is I guess most that I can say is just practice with them, really, because you can do a lot of things with them. You can just, you can spam like this, like a lot of fucking people do, that people say have no fucking skill. But I mean, if somebody dies from spam, it doesn't make you a very good character, does it? Or it doesn't make you a very good player, now does it? Well, uh, if you want to get good with a character, you're gonna use the full move set of that character to its fullest, depending on how the play style is of your opponent, and that's really that's how I do it, at least. Like everyone I play is different, and that makes me have to change up my play style a little bit. Like either they're gonna get caught in my vortex a lot, or they're gonna get parried a lot, or I'm just sitting and stare at each other a lot. It'll all depend on how they play. And Warden's off of pretty much the same as any other character. If you parry a light, if he does a dodging top light, which is pretty oh fuck, I messed that up. You can get a free top heavy when you parry a light. Obviously, every character should know that. Um, when you throw someone against a wall, yeah, it's also a free top heavy if you time it right. If you don't time it right, it'll look something like this. Oh, you try to block upwards.
Yeah.
If you don't time it right, well, I timed it right there by accident. But if you don't time it right,
Yeah,
they
it's
can
like that.
block it. The timing is even easier to pull off if they're farther away from the wall and you hit them into the wall. It gives you more time to start up your top heavy. But if you're like right up against the wall, sometimes you can't, sometimes you can. But I've practiced enough to pull the timing out most of the time. Sometimes it doesn't come out correctly, sometimes it does, but that just all comes in practice as well. Everything with the Warden's pretty simple. There's nothing really to much else to explain, other than the way things I do is, oh, shit, hold on, my words are getting a little confusing here. Okay, well, some things that I can do is with the Warden that it's not really much of a tech, but I can the same thing that the Lawbringer used to do when he used to do that pony emote into the to make you distracted for a second and he get you with that pole arm or whatever. Well, what I do is I can initiate one of my emotes and either do a top light or a zone, which some people don't see coming at all, such as this. That's a top light, or this in the zone. The fire can definitely be a distracting method, and it definitely has worked a couple times for me. So it depends on who you're playing against as well, but that's another thing you can do with the Warden, which is really cool. Another thing with the Warden is he has this really cool uh, locking on, unlocking type thing that makes him look like he's prancing around, which is pretty fucking cool. If you're getting ganked and you just initiate it, distracts the fuck out of your enemies, you know? You'll never see it coming. Another thing is he also has a spamming emote, which could throw your enemy off and make them daze it. It could daze your enemy as such.
Wow.
Into a fucking zone.
We really need a Warden nerf.
What do you go for off of GB when you get a successful GB on someone?
When you get a successful guard break on somebody with the Warden, the best damage you can get when you're not near walls is a side heavy, left or right side heavy, which is the basic damage you would get, is the most you can get off of a guard break. Do not try going for a top heavy, because I don't know why you didn't block that.
No, I wasn't trying to.
They can block it every single time. It is not guaranteed, so don't try it, fellow Wardens. Your left and right side heavies are the only ones that can connect after a guard break, or you could go for your simple side lights, which, if most of you Warden mains didn't know, if you hit somebody with side lights, that for the first attack it does more damage than it would off of the Vortex. You can't really see it because he has no damage turned on, but if you initiate your Vortex and side light and do it again, side light, those side lights will do less damage than it would if you just did side light. Also, okay. Yeah, that's a pretty cool thing to know. Another thing is, with Warden's zone attack, Warden's zone is very punishable and should be used only when you think is reasonable to use, because of the fact that enemies can get a free guard break if they block your zone, which is the only character in the game that can get punished for it very hard if they block it or miss it. As example, such as this, I can't counter guard break. I am fucked. But what you could do is distract your enemy into hitting a zone. You could fake him out, either fainting a top light in the zone or canceling your charge in the zone. Which usually works, but obviously he fucking blocked it. But there's a lot
I have superior block. I dodged at the same time. My bad.
you could cancel it in the zone, or feint the side heavies into zone. Oh fuck, I'm out of stamina. Well, but yeah, that's a lot of cool things you can do with Warden. Also, if you play with Warden a lot and your reflexes are pretty on point, one of his main effective moves is his counter strike, which is when somebody throws a top heavy or a top light, they can get a free counter strike if they time it right, which the timing is more precise than with parries. That's why it is a little bit more rewarding. And I will show you a guaranteed light attacks after you get your counter strike as well, if some of you Wardens didn't know. So would you please do a top heavy for us, Angelus? Oh, once again, sorry, I wasn't. You can get into your Vortex, into free side lights every single time. And if damage was on, you would see how much damage that does, because it definitely does a decent amount of damage. If not a little more than a quarter of their health, almost half, but it is definitely rewarding because pulling off counter strikes are hard enough, especially against characters that have really fast top lights. But when you get a parry off somebody with the Warden, the same goes for any other character unless you're the Shigoki, because the Shigoki, if the Shigoki parries any of your moves, he gets a free guard break no matter what character you are. If you're another little character with a little teeny bitty weapon or any long weapon other than just Shigoki, you get a parry depending on what move the other character does. You cannot get a guaranteed guard break all the time. So when you play with Warden consistently, you just have to realize what characters you're playing against and what kind of weapons they're using, obviously, and what their distances are when you get a parry off their lights or their heavies. For Kensei, for example, I believe if I parry one of his heavies, I cannot get a guard break. But if I parry his lights, I get a free guard break. But if I parry a light, I usually just go for top heavies. But for example, throw a heavy. Hold on, was that a heavy or a light?
It was a heavy. Let's do side. You can't do a side
there.
heavy.
The side heavies, that's what the Kensei can do. If Kensei side heavies, I cannot get a guard break off of his side heavies. That is shit. I cannot. How did I just get that?
No, that was a side light. That was a side light.
Oh, that was a side light. Do
Yeah.
a side heavy. When the Kensei does side heavies.
Oh.
What the fuck is going on here? This game is changing on me. Okay,
there it goes.
Okay, well,
maybe it's 50-50.
Making me think twice now. Like, okay, well, I'll show you what I do every single time I parry a character's heavies that I don't know 100% that I'll get a guard break. If he throws one, and obviously he still has stamina, I just go for my top light or my zone, because if I parry their fucking, how am I doing this? If I parry a heavy,
what? Those are heavies too.
If I parry one of their heavies, I'll just go into a top light into Vortex again to get them in the 50-50, you know, put them in the 50-50 again. But sometimes if I know they have like low health and they have enough health for me to one-shot them with the zone and not with the light, they throw a heavy. Throw a heavy, damn it. When they throw a heavy, I'll just go for a zone if I know I can't reach them with a guard break, because they cannot recover that quick to guard break me, even though I threw the zone. Or they throw an attack.
Can we parry it? Can we parry your zone after we've been parried?
No, you cannot.
Looks slow. Yeah, I can't even block it.
Recovering.
Yeah.
The zone is pretty much free after any parry as well, even heavy parries, I believe, with the Warden. So you can get a free zone every time, but be in mind that it costs a lot of stamina, and if you accidentally flicker, which sometimes a lot of characters do, it will cost you even more stamina, such as show. I will show you what a failed fucking zone attack is compared to a successful zone. That was a failed zone. Look at my stamina. This is I will try a successful zone, which is pretty difficult because every time I hit him at the same time, it uses more stamina than normal. That's a successful zone. That only used half of my stamina. This is apparently a flicker zone. Oh, fucked it up. There it is. More stamina than normal. Which sucks, because if I know I have more than enough health to throw a zone, I mean more than enough stamina to throw a zone, and I go to throw the zone, it does the flicker by accident, and there goes my fucking stamina bar. And what do you know, when you're a Warden with no stamina, it's not really good, depending on the character you were fighting. But basically, that's all you really need to know with Warden. Just get his Vortex down, get his mix-up right, get the fucking enemy guessing, and that's really all you need to do. That's about it.
Sweet. Thank you, man.
With pitchforks and